Alrighty, it is currently, just want you to see the light source. This is indeed the light source. There you go. I'm inside of my apartment. I am inside of building 1806. I am facing the general direction west with regard to the living room window, the general direction of east where the sunrise is seen through my living room window, and I'm documenting the pattern of conduct in a specific environment where there is no possible sunrise in perfect alignment with me while I am sleeping inside of a vehicle on the same day in 2022, capturing the light source at 9:54 in the morning. I'm at the same property at Alvarado Gardens, and it's currently 3:32 p.m. and the light source is remaining over me while I'm at the same property. In addition to that, you're looking at the pattern of not only being at the same property, it's over me at the same property. And this is well after as I reported down to my leasing office during the 8 o'clock hour. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, that was, okay. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. I like to count more than once because I'm not a mathematician. I'm a legal practitioner, okay? My skill set is in the law, so I want to count several times. This is under all circumstances scientifically impossible, okay? There is no sun that I'm documenting while I'm in an entirely different region. In addition, there is no sun that would be present at the same address. I'm inside of the same apartment for this duration of time. This is the P.O.C. where the entity is providing ongoing evidence speaking to a demonic system of statewide surveillance. And that system of terrorism that's underway seeks to conceal itself. And this is speaking to the expiration date of any so-called secrecy by a demon-possessed entity, all right, that's serving Satan, because they are engaging in more of the same. So this corrupt entity engages in more of its criminal pattern of conduct, and that's the only answer that it can come up with regard to exposure. So, and I'm going to prosecute you for that. Okay, so the stalker engages in more life-threatening, terrorizing, sexual, violent conduct while it is exposed as a stalker, sex offender, terrorist. That's literally what the state is doing. All right, so I'm speaking to the P.O.C. It's 3:33 p.m. That's an excellent time, by the way. And the light source is over me, and while I'm inside of my apartment, which is building 1806. And you remember where I was standing this morning? I was standing right in third-party group stalker Marie P. Ennis, who was group stalking inside of the laundry room with the demons of the LAPD, engaging in terrorism in sync, in concert with them. And let me be clear, by virtue of this light source that's still over me, or prosecution, she represents what the people of the state are all doing as a population. There is no natural environment that consists of the sun being over me as I'm documenting it in the morning, where she's group stalking and the entity is stalking helicopter, and that light source is still over me. It's 3. And also the maintenance of this light source that's still here 4 or 5 hours from now, where the so-called sunset remains. That's called stalking in the path with light. This is what I'm documenting at 5 o'clock. This is where the entity is keeping in alignment with me with my apartment. My leasing office is in this direction, however. So the entity is keeping this light source over my leasing office while I'm inside of my leasing office, and that's for the duration of the day. That's how you have it over the palm tree above 1802, which is the maintenance of the light source while I'm inside of my office as I exit at 5 p.m. And it just keeps over my lease, over my head, and then it reaches to be at the same exact location at the same property above the palm tree while I'm at my leasing office, and then it moves to be in alignment to be at the same exact location over my head, keeping in perfect alignment with me at 5 p.m. This is how you're understanding what is stalking with a fake sun, as I have used this term throughout the years, and a corrupt entity that seeks to criminally defame, knowing the psychotic and demonic system that they are practicing, but also aware of the fact that this demonic activity is unheard of. Okay, because there's no nomenclature in order to identify or recognize or even understand, because your normal mind that is not bowed down to the depths of darkness and wickedness, where you're engaging in unheard of animalistic behavior that is out of the pit of hell, when you're engaging in conduct such as stalking with an entire environment, stalking with engineered light, climbing into a helicopter to follow somebody around, and you're talking about a whole bunch of demons. They're in a league of them in helicopters over one person. And then the more I expose what they're doing step by step, the demons are hostile because I know what they're doing. I'm exposing it and every aspect of it and who they're doing it with. This is why I'm met with this level of terrorism. But let me be clear, this is what I'm stating with regard to the expiration date. The answer is not an answer. The answer is speaking to what is inevitable judgment and federal prosecution. Silverview Townhomes engages crossing path in the specific environment. That whole community is engaging in a sex offense right now. And the entity is maintaining the light source over me, and doing so, engaging in more. The answer is not to engage in more stalking when a judge or a victim wants to enforce their rights, just like it would be prosecuted for any other traditional method of stalking. And any other court would analyze the behavior of the stalker. All right, and you are always legally analyzing the behavior, the comments made. You're looking at the past conduct that's underway, that's already occurred, and then what the stalker is still continuously doing. This is ordinary prosecution for the criminal act of stalking. The government is the stalker now. The government is a terrorist while it's stalking you. And the government intensifies, grows in aggression and hostility as you expose the fact that they're demon possessed and that they're group stalking you. And that is the exposure of the criminal system and the condition of the people of the state as well. That's how I have, first of all, this same placement of this light source in the same exact location at 3:37 in the afternoon, and I was standing in front of where Brian saw his group stalking, sitting in this vehicle. This is so pathetic. This is a terrorist that's going to be deported out of this country. The light source is over his windshield as he engaged in group stalking on video yesterday after 5 p.m. It was indeed the P.O.C. as I pointed out to you. This demon walks in engineered light. The shape of the window was on the ground after 5 p.m. The demons at our LAPD crossing path in multiple helicopters. Akeem Maradiaga crossing path, driving by the dumpster, and engineer light moving across that dumpster. That is 2 hours from now, where the light source is still going to be in alignment with my apartment after I go back to my office, and it goes back over there, and it's still going to be at the same exact property in alignment to me. That's also how you know what is the malice of a terrorist, that it's going back to his home of origin where he can terrorize people there. Okay, but I'm going to prosecute him. He's going to sit in a cage, and then he's going to be deported out of this country. All right, so the entity is engaging in what is the maintenance of the light source. When I'm down here at 10 o'clock in the morning, the light source is over me while I'm standing next to his vehicle, standing at what is parking spot number 12. All right, and I'll go ahead and show you what is he's engaging in light activity creation right now. This is a psychopath that's targeting somebody else, exhibiting this mental illness when you're group stalking with the state. That is the grounds of mental examinations. Understand that. This is what the people of the state are engaging in while a whole secret system of surveillance in the U.S. remains underway. And this is, again, absolutely unpersuasive. This is revealing what is psychopathic. Some refer to it as narcissistic, but this is speaking to what is under all circumstances delusional. Group stalking in plain view, and doing so, and you're not doing anything but group stalking, and the state is relying on this in this unnatural environment where the sun would never be present over the same location. I was standing here at this parking lot. The light source you can see through the windshield of Marie Ennis's vehicle while I'm standing in front of parking spot number 12, and Brian's a demon that knows exactly, all of the entity knows what I'm doing. So this demon goes out to stand next to that location, is monitoring while doing so. He's also exposing himself in the terrorism and the sexual violence he was engaging in yesterday after 5 p.m. in the same environment nonetheless, but this is the light source that's in the same exact location. So I'm going to show you what you're recognizing everywhere that I'm going, and that's how I have a light source over me in its zenith at Walmart in Ontario, California, while I'm standing at the front door of this apartment. There is no natural environment where that is ever the case. That's just not the case. And it's also not at the same time seen through the windshield. That's not the sun. That's a light source speaking to an ongoing maintenance of this is the demonic that's underway. This is massive surveillance. And the engineered environment is crucial. It's key. It's core to this system of surveillance that's occurring in the U.S. And that's why I'm capturing screenshots of a car chase in South Los Angeles. And at the same time, I'm looking outside of my leasing office and the fake sun is right over my head. In the same way that it's still over my head at this time in the afternoon inside of my apartment at the same property. But yet you can see through the screenshots that I'm capturing what's impossible to coexist. And then there's what I documented on 2022 on the same day at the same time. And then I'm reminding you that I'm standing at this very parking spot and the light source is directly above my head. And I'm showing you the light source. There's no mistaking where it's at. There's no misconception of the depth and how far it is. Oh, it just looks like it's right above you, but it's actually over people in Covina as well. And they can know it's right over my head. And any light source that you're looking at in Covina, it's proving my point that this is a scientific impossibility. And the presence of Satan is literally in your face. You just have not been paying attention to it. All right. And so this is opening your eyes with regard to the unnatural environment where federal group stalking and monitoring is. And this is where the entity seeks to silence me while I've been subject to this system. And I have been subject to this group stalking, this surveillance system, thinking that I'm free in this country, thinking that I have a measure of privacy. I have never been on social media just for funsies. That's never been my thing. Nothing about, I'm not speaking about anyone else's life or what you do. That has never been me or my speed or my interest whatsoever. And come to find out, the entire state, every single last person is fully engaged in everything regarding my life, where I go, what I do, including online, anything. It's all public information. That's a specific and a specialized level of trauma. Okay, when you have this notion in America that you have any level of privacy whatsoever, it's an illusion. It's a farce. Okay, so that's how I'm able to capture this phenomenon right here. And so you'll see that in the screen recording where this light source is right now. It was over my head, directly over the top of my head, as I stood at the same location, showing you that light source that's over these vehicles right now. And you can see through the windshields at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's in the same position it was over my head as I stood at the same exact location. That's capturing the P.O.C. That's how you know what Silverview Townhomes, all of that community is doing, including when they're driving in and out of the gate, walking in and out of the gate. That's how you know what they're doing when they're driving all up and down the street. You also know that through the maintenance of engineered light. You know all of it. This is a demon-possessed population, and I'm going to prosecute the demon-possessed population. It is currently 3:42 p.m. This is P.O.C.